it's been busy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm basically going to be vlogging my routine since I have been waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We have been dealing with homelessness for like 3 years, but at least I can say we are coming from a place of now transitioning out of homelessness. But for the time being, we obviously need to stay at a hotel. I have of course been vlogging and you all have asked a lot of interesting questions, and I think one of the questions that comes to mind, how do you stay motivated while in a hotel? A hotel in itself isn't really the most motivating setting, and of course being in a situation where I am sharing a room with 5 other people, it's not the most ideal circumstances, but I think it's really about how you perceive the day to be and how you're going to make steps to make the day honestly better. For me personally, I have a lot of goals and aspirations, and the first step is to honestly just get up and get dressed, and that's what I basically did. Every day is truly a blessing, and I want to start my day on a fresh start. And speaking of a fresh start, I want to make sure I am smelling fresh all day. Thanks to Lume, I don't have to be concerned because Lume is clinically proven to block body odor all day and continues controlling BO for 72 hours. Lume was invented by OBGYN Shannon Kleeman, and you can tell because you can use their whole body deodorants from head to toe. Let's be honest, when it comes to body odor, it's not just the armpits. Since Lume's products are designed for your whole body, you can use the deodorants in other places that need more TLC. Their buttery toasted coconut deodorant stick has been a game changer since it stops odor before it starts. It doesn't feel heavy when I wear it, so I feel light and airy. I love how versatile Lume is because having their soft powder invisible spray and lavender sage invisible cream allows me to use whatever I'm comfortable with. Their cool cucumber deodorant wipes and clean tangerine body wash is another way to make sure I am staying fresh all day. With all of the different products, I'm happy knowing that my skin is also being protected. Their wide range of aluminum-free products make me feel safe, mainly because Lume is skin safe. It's baking soda free, cruelty free, pH optimized, and paraben free. Their products are a must-have, and I am so glad that I made the switch. If you want to start your journey with Lume, their starter pack bundle is the perfect deal for new customers. You would get a full-size stick deodorant, a cream deodorant tube or spray deodorant, 2 free products like the wipes or the mini body wash, and not to mention their free US shipping, as well as an extra $5 off when you click the link below and use my code IzzyBizzy to get more than 40% off your order. Thank you so much, Lume, for sponsoring today's video and helping me to start my day on the right track. When it comes to my morning routine, I'm gonna be honest, I have never been a morning person. If anything, I am the type to always stay up more at night and honestly even feel more creative at nighttime, but I know that a morning routine is pretty healthy. So for me, I like to kind of ease my way into the day, and I think having like a slower morning routine makes me feel more energized and excited about the day because now I have something to look forward to instead of just like rushing through my morning. I know even like recently receiving a physical Bible, that made me more excited to wake up because I was able to like read my Bible instead of using like the Bible app. And whatever the case may be, just having something to look forward to in the mornings. And something I have recently implemented is doing a Chinese word search every single day, and I do this for about 20 to 25 minutes because I do about 3 of them. In Chinese, this would be 中文找字游戏. I really love the Chinese word search, and I also do this. I listen to God's promises with my headphones. Like, it's just a good time when I just listen to the word, I do my word search, I'm learning and studying Chinese, and it just makes me just so happy. You guys don't understand how much I look forward to this. Like, it's just so fun, and that makes the mornings more enjoyable for me. After I do kind of my wrist stretches and I also do my word search, I like to whip out my planner, aka a journal, and it's pretty much like a long to-do list, but I check this throughout the day because I know that if I don't check it, I'm more than likely going to forget all the tasks, but I do this the night before. So the next steps for me is honestly to start studying because the GED is still very important to me. Even though I'm not physically in school, I am still striving for my education and making sure I'm getting all of that in order because I want to make sure I like kind of graduate technically with everybody else. I don't want to be left behind. Okay, so I do study. I do about 2 lessons per day. I feel like that's a good amount of lessons each day where I don't feel overwhelmed and I'm able to study the information, take it all in. I'm going to study for a little bit, get that done. I like to get it done early so it's just already out of the way. I think when it also comes to certain tasks that you know you're just not going to want to do, you do it first thing when you wake up. I don't really like to procrastinate on anything, but there are certain tasks that you're just not always in the mood for. But setting that habit in place, it's just like, nope, when we get up, we're gonna get X, Y, and Z done versus kind of waiting last minute, you know, at the end of the day when your energy is at an all-time low, you're more than likely gonna pick sleep over studying. So we're gonna study over sleeping and get it done early in the morning. Okay, so I completed my GED around the afternoon, and I will say today is a bit of an odd day because my schedule was thrown off a little bit. I did have an appointment today, well, somewhat of an appointment when it comes to getting my state ID. I didn't exactly like have anything scheduled, but we knew we wanted to go get my state ID as well as my twin sister's state ID because for those who don't know, I currently do not have a driver's license, mainly because when we became homeless I was 15 years old, and usually, you know, during that time frame you are getting like your driver's license and things like that. I have never even practice or I've never even been behind a wheel to get my driver's license, so that is something we're still working on. But since I am going to be turning 18 soon, they of course want some form of identification, like even recently going to doctor appointments and things like that. I need an ID, so Gabby and I just handled that. We went to get our state IDs and that was nice to get that done, but every day is just not gonna look the same. It's just kind of going with the flow, and I feel like a lot of us know somewhat of how to do that, but I feel like when you are kind of living in a hotel, you are heavily relying on like the day by day to-do list, like not putting so much trust in like having everything laid out. For me personally, I don't really like to plan weekly. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like because of our situation, there are a lot of things that we've had to just stop and handle. And with that being said, there were also times where it's like I'm showing you my 5 a.m. routine, but we weren't always waking up at 5 a.m. I'll say for me and my family, we have never had really any issues getting work done while living in a hotel because we have just been so used to it. Like it's a habit for us to learn that this environment is what it is, but we're gonna still make the most out of the day. We have mainly focused on getting the to-do list done. Like it doesn't matter how it gets done, when it gets done, it just needs to be done. Depending on the situation, the schedule always looked a little different, and then when you're living in a hotel you have to take into account everyone else. So I've had experiences where we couldn't do things because of other people around us. Thankfully this hotel is relatively quiet, so I don't have so many issues with like noise, but when we stayed at certain hotels they were more rambunctious, and that meant our schedules had to change accordingly. I think it's so interesting looking back at my life because there was literally one point where we would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and we would start right then and there. We were doing school, we were doing languages, I was doing art, like we were just doing everything like at 2 o'clock in the morning. And that may sound absurd to a lot of people, but if 2 o'clock in the morning was working for us in that moment, that's just what we gotta do. So I have noticed being here, at least we are able to set more of a routine of what we want. Like I love waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I said, I'm not a big morning person, but I'm really big into discipline. Like I like having discipline in my life, and waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning for me helps keep everything in order, where I just know, okay, we're doing things at this specific time. We're teaching the body, we're teaching the flesh, like, hey, you cannot sleep in, you gotta get up. Sleeping in is for the weekends, okay? I'm not saying you can't sleep in, of course, but there's a time and a place for that. And I like with my weekdays that I'm just setting that in place right now, so the body already knows we have work to do. But yeah, I just want to kind of make that clear that every day is a little different, and I have just learned, especially with our situation, to adapt, to go day by day if that's what's needed. And in my case, even with my to-do list, I haven't completed everything on the to-do list yet, but I know I can still complete a lot of things even though it's noon. I wasn't expecting to start like so late in the day, because usually with my GED, I am done roughly around 10 to 11 o'clock, and I also took a nap because I was a little sleepy, which happens. I spend majority of my time like balancing school, balancing extra studies like languages, also running my small business that has been a new thing, and doing content, making videos and planning for Instagram and YouTube. That's usually what I am doing majority of the time, and that is what's written on here. I can't get so caught up with like a specific time on everything, but that can be just also a hard reality when you are self-employed, because in my case I work from home and I'm just still getting a schedule in order, but trying not to be too hard on myself. And sometimes I feel like, you know, did I do enough? Or because I'm not spending like all day doing something, and I'm trying to learn that it's okay to not spend all day doing something. Like if you're not spending 8 hours on the GED, that doesn't mean you didn't learn anything today. You have to have more of a well-balanced routine. I really try to have balance. So the next thing that I need to focus on is I want to focus a little bit on my business, and specifically like my small business. I did announce that I am, you know, coming out with an art shop and getting everything ready, and we are literally so close to getting everything done. I've been doing more tasks on the bed, and that is mainly because my workspace has been used now for clay and other things like that. You all will see in the upcoming videos like about my business, showing you what my workspace looks like. It's gonna be very exciting. Also a few life updates in there as well, just really talking to you all and giving you more of an update on our situation. Alrighty, enough chitter chatting, it's time to start working.
When it comes to building up my business, at this point the main work is done. Now don't worry, I have a whole video coming out devoted to me preparing for the shop, so if you are interested, you can click here when the video comes out. But I was in the process of still designing my website, and I needed some product photos. I basically had a mini photo shoot, and I thought the photos were decent, so I moved on to the editing stage. I wanted my photos to go from this to this. I know the power is really in the editing, so it was really important that these look nice and crisp. And at first, I wasn't sure if I was going to go for a warmer tone or a cooler tone. I ended up choosing a cooler tone because that seemed more fitting, but comment down below which one is your favorite. After that, I wanted to add some visuals to my website. Like I wanted to establish that this is a faith-based business. So I made a logo just for that and added it to my website. I think it's a really nice touch, and it's honestly one of my favorite parts of the site. After all of this hard work, I was a little hungry, so Gabby cooked us some chicken tortillas and fries, and let me just say, I was quite satisfied. It was also getting pretty late and I was ready to get comfy, so let's do a fancy transition, and boom, we are ready for the night.
It is currently 8 o'clock and I have my tea, so that means I am ready to start slowing down. I think when I even talk about having a slow morning routine, I think that should also be paired up with having like a slower night routine. I have noticed in specific moments of my life, the body will tend to feel anxious. And even though I don't feel anxious, like to me, everything's perfectly fine. I feel great. I'm ready to get the day started, and then I'll feel like a lot of anxiety come. And I'm wondering, like, why is there this pain in my chest, and wondering why the body is feeling this way when mentally I feel okay. And the reason for that is sometimes the body will respond to whatever is going on, like certain life events or the environment. So I have learned to make sure to add, of course, a lot of prayer. Make sure to rebuke that in Jesus' name, because Jesus said his burdens are light, okay? So anxiety is not of him whatsoever, and so I cast all my anxieties to him. And even though, like I said, mentally I don't see the problem, I want to make sure that I am not encouraging anxiety and doing things that would breed more and more anxiety. I've had to just bend more to the body, unfortunately. You know, the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. So even though, like I said, I'm at a different place mentally, I have to put still the body first, because this is where I dwell. And if the body is not doing okay, then I won't be able to get things done, because anxiety can truly stop you from doing the things that you need to get done. So of course, after doing a lot of prayer and casting all my anxieties to God, I now do certain activities to make sure the body feels at ease. So drinking tea helps. I currently have like a few activities that I like to do at night. So I have my crochet hook because I'm going to crochet tonight. I recently finished crocheting this wee little leaf. This is supposed to go on your headphones, and this tutorial is from Little Things. I'll have it on the screen, but I want to do another leaf just to reinforce what I have learned yesterday, or not yesterday, that was like a couple of days ago. Another thing that I really love doing is reading. I love reading, but it's just so unfortunate when I want to read, it's kind of hard finding like Christian books, or even if there's Christian books, finding books that align with the true Christian morals and belief systems that I know, because some people tend to fall off and you think they're a strong woman or strong man of God, but then they somehow down the line just made certain decisions, and now I feel like I can't support them anymore. So finding books has been a little challenging, but recently I have been reading this book. This is The Total Money Makeover from Dave Ramsey. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I am not the biggest fan of Dave Ramsey. There, I said it. I'm really not, because he is supposed to be a Christian, but his attitude and mannerisms are just not up to par, because he's constantly calling everybody stupid, calling people an idiot, and I just don't feel like Jesus would approve of that behavior. Like, even Jesus would call out nonsense, but not in that way. So it's just not a great experience, like watching his videos or even sometimes reading this book. But this was gifted to me by a busy bee, because I do have the Amazon wish list up, and I allow you all to send me extra things if you feel led to. So if you want to add anything extra, you are able to do that. And a busy bee bought this book for me. Now, I think the reason they wanted me to have this book was to just teach me more about finances, especially since I'm making money and making sure I'm making good financial decisions for the future. And I'm very appreciative of that, and that's why I'm still reading the book, because I feel like, okay, I'll just take the good and chuck the bad. But honestly, because a busy bee gifted this to me, and I was always taught that, like, when someone gives you something, someone offers food, whatever it is, you take it, you enjoy whatever you can out of it, even if it's not your favorite, and you just kind of move on. So that's what I'm essentially doing when I'm reading this book. I'm just remembering the good stuff and taking out whatever stuff I don't really need or don't really agree with when it comes to Dave Ramsey specifically. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Having just a slower night routine just enforces everything that I was talking about earlier, about kind of just slowing down. And then this is the latest point of the day. Like, the body's just not on an all-time high, to be honest. I was getting really sleepy, but I'm going to end the night strong and finish off some tasks that I have been just really wanting to do and relax a little bit. it is almost 11 o'clock, and you would think I'd be in bed by now since it is 11 o'clock and I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but that has not been the case recently. For whatever reason, I have planned out a bedtime routine. I have done everything to make sure I'm going to bed on time, but for whatever reason, the body is not falling asleep. Like, even though I will go to sleep at like 8:30, let's say 9:30, 10:30, waiting for my body to just go to bed, like we're just trying to shut everything off, I will still be up at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of ridiculous, but since I'm up and I'm like very alert and awake, and I think that really stems from me just being a night owl, I tend to be very energetic at night, and if anything, I want to kind of start my days like right at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's just who I am. So since that has been going on recently, I have spent a lot of time like watching Chinese content. Now sometimes the Chinese content will make me fall asleep because I'm just kind of being stimulated with like a foreign language, so it's a lot to take in, so I'll tend to watch quite a few lessons, but I am still going to plan out the rest of my week because that's what I do at the end of the day. Also spend some time with God, like, you know, talk to him, worship him, because that's like kind of it. Might as well, since I'm like up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for spending the day with me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.